I think it was a downgrade from the first movie.
I mean, it's alright, like, overrated as fuck, in my opinion. I mean,
seriously. It might be that I'm a bitch old man, 18, which means I was already watching FNAF videos by the time most of the audience was still yet to be conceived, my younger brother included, and that the hype for FNAF 1, the movie, meant that I was willing to overlook that movie's many flaws, and that the bar for this one was high, but still my personal opinion didn't live up to expectations. Now, I'm not a cinemaphile. Let's get that straight first and foremost. I watch, like, at most 4 movies per year, and the last time I visited a theatre was for a patriotic performance like 2 years ago. However, in comparison to FNAF 1, the movie, this movie feels like someone heard all of my worries about that movie and put them in one. Firstly, I don't like how they use the same song for the intro. The intro itself is stellar otherwise, but it feels a bit cheap, like they're running on old hype. Wow, you heard this song before! It's a banger, and that's a fact. It reminds you of the movie you loved. Love this movie too! Next is the flood of references. I think they saw how people lost their shit over Balloon Boy toy cameo 2 years ago, and decided, hey, let's do more of that. The fact they shoved MatPat into Toy Bonnie, unintended, just feels like they wanted to add another celebrity to marketing without actually being clever about it like the first movie. The setup itself leaves much to be desired. Child blames grown-up for its misery and wants to kill them all, is the post-apocalyptic story that ends with 2 humans left, called Adam and Eve, of horror. He used to be ever present, but died off, and for good fucking reason. It's the most bland, uninspired crap ever, a cheap way to make an antagonist without falling into the pit of just leaving them simply a generic evil monster that kills for the shits and giggles. I won't deny it does kinda work for the setting, but there's a reason Scott burned like 8 scripts that kinda stuck before he settled on the final one for the first movie. Just because something can work on paper doesn't automatically make it a good idea. Next up is the actual plot. The first half is very good. I don't have anything against that. The puppet's set up well, although I'm not sure why Michael didn't just turn off the music box himself. Was it because he feared Charlotte would just possess him if that happened since he was the only human there? Maybe, I'll let that slide. At that point, just nitpicking and being spiteful. However, the second half feels like they threw shit in for no reason other than just for it to be there. It's like the ending of Jackie's Box of all things, where it tries to end like 3 times but just doesn't. One would think that disabling all the toys would be a good chunk of the movie, but nah. Mike does it without any major problems. The Widdets, or prototypes, I actually like the name change here, look like formidable foes, but Mike doesn't really give a shit. He lets them get right up in his face and only then puts on the mask. It makes them a total non-threat, and even Mike knows this. He just casually works on the computer, even when he sees them approaching clearly, and then just puts it on at the last moment. So yeah, they're off. But oh, connection rerouted. Could this be a plot twist? Indeed. The puppet's possessing Abby now. What a major friend. She's out, Mike took her out in an encounter for less than 4 minutes. So much for the big third act antagonist. But oh, the robots are active anyway. It's Michael, boys!
Michael! Don't leave me here! Michael!
More on him later. Wow, what a threatening villain can actually have this in monologue. Will our heroes get out of trouble this time? And the toys are all gone. They've all been destroyed. Now, don't get me wrong, I do like that they included the originals, but once again it feels like they just forced Michael into this because they realized how easily the heroes have been getting through everything. Even Michael himself gets hit in the face by the driver pain dude, I forgot his name, but he's also pretty good comic relief and generally a decent actor. And then he escapes without issue. You see what I mean? It feels like they're haphazardly throwing in plot points just to get them out of the system. Or in my opinion, to further extend the runtime. Right, what's next? Oh, and then we have Michael Afton. Why do we have Michael Afton? Once again, it feels like they wanted to subvert those old theories about Mike having been mistaken for his dad and that's why he's being beat up in FNAF 1 the game. I don't like the idea of William's relatives showing up or rather being pulled out of the scriptwriter's ass without any prior setup. And thanks to the baby cameo in Vanessa's dream, I know they will do that for the 3rd movie. Unless they make more informed sequel Titus. I think it would be better if his long-lost son was actually a more metaphorical son. A psycho who heard about the killings at a young age and began to idolize after. It would be a reference to the real imitator killers and to the fangirls and more rarely fanboys that some absolutely despicable people attract, and show how, in spite of old Willie being gone for the movie, his monstrous legacy still lives on and continues to haunt Hurricane, causing irreparable damage. That's to the ending. Good God, the ending. The way they make Vanessa and Mike split up, thus giving Charlotte a way to possess her, feels forced as shit. It's not helped by the fact her makeup / special effect looks far worse than the other makeups. Like, that's a very high bar, and it's not like drunk lady at New Year's Eve party tier bad. It just feels like a cheap cliffhanger to end this movie on. I'd go as far to say, sequel bait. While they call her Vanny in the third movie and then pat themselves on the back about how clever they are. Ooh. The positives are mostly stuff the first movie got right anyway. I adore the actors, the special effects are great, the toys and wizards look awesome, and the puppet makeup is simply stellar. Whatever folks did that deserve another bag of peanuts they probably get paid in. And the sets are simply phenomenal. The child actors especially do an amazing job, even if once again the vast majority of them are just the odd ones and a few extras. The school kids aren't really characters, only one of them has more than one line, and the other that, the only kid, I mean aside from Charlotte of course, is the child whose mom Toy Bonnie tries to pull an afternoon. The dog cameo had me unironically start clapping in the theater. The humor is good, even when it's unintentional. When the Toy Chica interface said "security breached," I think I may have actually soy pointed at the theater screen, but I'm not 100% sure. The problem is, this is just what the first movie did. Nearly every new thing this movie did aside from the makeup is worse, even if only ever so slightly. Once again, I wasn't expecting some Godfather-esque shit, some masterpiece that shall unite the generation and get 70 Oscars, but the experience on par with the last movie. Was it worth it going to the cinema? I say yes, my brother sure loved it, but I won't lie, I was disappointed. It's also shorter than the first one, it's 1 hour and 34 minutes compared to 1 hour and 50 minutes. It's not a negative thing, Attack of the Clones is 20 minutes longer than A New Hope, and the former is in my opinion significantly better than the latter, but I just think this extra 50 minutes could have been a bit of good use, to actually tie up the loose ends. When Springtrap becomes Sans Undertale in the post-credit scenes, oh yeah, it's Sans Undertale, I think that's neat.